Football is awesome. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Friday Night Roots. I'm your host, Justin Thomas, and let's get into the video. Before we do that, do me a huge favor. Like the video, share the video, subscribe if you can. I appreciate all the love I can get. Let's jump right into it. Holy cow, the football gods bless us with an amazing day of football, and I could not be more excited to talk about it with you guys. I mean, just wow. I mean, these are the kind of games and the days we live for. So let's just jump right into it, get to my reaction and get going. So Chiefs Texans, wow. I mean, I kind of went exactly how I thought it would. There's nothing too exciting. I don't have too many crazy thoughts on it. I mean, yeah, I'll just kind of go through the game and kind of give my thoughts as we talk about it. It was kind of just a field goal trade-off at the beginning. Butker hits a 32, 0-3 Chiefs. CJ hits Schultz for a long pass, and then Fairbairn ends up kicking a 30-yarder to tie it 3-3. They did show a stat that I thought was pretty interesting. Mahomes has a 50% conversion rate on third downs, which is actually second best in the NFL. He kind of embodied that stat today. I think he really just showed that he's Patrick Mahomes, and on those key moments, he kind of just thrives there. I wouldn't say he thrived there a lot today. It definitely wasn't his best offensive outing, but the Chiefs don't really, that's not really how their team's built right now. Their team's built just to kind of get by and win, and that's what they do. They fucking win. So, and that's what they did. So I want to take a second to talk about that terrible roughing the passer call. Listen, I know that the refs and that crew with the Chiefs now has, the Chiefs are 7-0 with that ref crew now. But, I mean, come on. I know per the NFL rule, according to what they were saying, they can pick up those roughing the passer calls. They can look at those roughing the passer calls and pick up those flags, and they should have, because he ultimately didn't hit him in the head, and that pissed me the fuck off. And all the memes and Twitter and everyone on Twitter, once they saw that, how everyone was reacting to that terrible call, it was so stupid. But anyway, kind of following on Patrick Mahomes, right after that, obviously Patrick Mahomes got really comfortable with Kelsey and Worthy and really started dicing up the defense, and ultimately they end up going back down, kicking another field goal to make it 6-3 Chiefs. At the beginning, I will say Texans defense was playing really, really well. I mean, I thought they were flying around. They carried a lot of energy with them, and I thought they did exactly what they were supposed to do, and I would say the Texans defense was very successful. I think it was the offense on the back end that wasn't reciprocating the energy and ultimately led to the kind of the downfall of the Texans defense later on. I thought the Texans offense really lacked creativity today. I thought it was kind of bland offense. I felt like it was, they did run and they ran okay. I think he was averaging 5 yards a carry there at the beginning, and they looked really good. I just thought that in the pass game they lacked creativity. I thought CJ was creative himself in escaping the pocket and getting the ball out to where he needed to. I just thought that they're just, sometimes when you watch a game, you're like, that's just basic football. I felt like that's what the Texans offense looked like today. But I digress. CJ, after that had that long 28-yard run where he dipped his shoulder, ran that guy over. And then Fairbairn missed a 55-yard field goal, 6-3, kind of right before half there. But anyway, of course, Mahomes ended up, I think following that, Mahomes ended up having a long pass to Travis Kelsey, set up a first and goal. Kareem Hunt ended up running it in. So we had 13-3 Chiefs with like 4 minutes left in the second. And then, I wrote something down. I wrote Texans can't score in the red zone. Texans couldn't. I just felt like the creativity paired with their red zone struggles today. The Texans could have won this game. They could have won this game. And kind of when the Chiefs got him down to that reduced field, the Chiefs are very good in reduced field situations. Also, the Chiefs are very comfortable having a lot of defenders in the box. So when CJ's up at the line, he might see 8 to 10 people right in front of him directly. And that's how the Chiefs play defense. Spagnuolo is very creative with that. And as I said, kind of in the preview for this game, they blitz a lot. So, they knew that was coming. The Texans expected that. So anyway, I just thought the Texans in the red zone just looked terrible today. Fairbairn kicked a 48-yard field goal, going into half. So 6-13 at half Chiefs. I thought it was interesting, with 5 minutes left in the third, Texans had 127 rushing yards and Kansas City only had 19 rushing yards. And that just goes to show that it was so unevenly weighted in terms of time of possession and the way they were playing. It almost felt like the Texans were winning this game, but they weren't winning the game. And that sucked. Mixon had a 13-yard, rush touchdown. Following that, which kind of brought the game back into scope for the Texans. You're like, okay, this is it. But even then, you almost knew that the Chiefs had control, but the Texans were playing better. It was kind of weird. 12-13, that was with 4 minutes left in the third. And then, of course, the refs strike again with another horrible fucking call. It was like, what are you looking at? I mean, it was so bad. Another no helmet contact call, and Patrick Mahomes ended up later trying to get one for flopping. That's such bullshit, man. They really need to take a look at this and be able to overturn these when they're not actually penalties. I think those should all be forced reviews, especially if you're going to penalize 15 yards and an automatic first down. That can swing entire football games. And even at the beginning, it's not that I want to, because it was so early on, it's not that I want to sit here and say, oh, this did have an impact on this game, but sometimes I can't help but feel like maybe this time it did, just how big that missed call was at the beginning. Anyway, I digress. I could argue about the refs forever. But, yeah, that sucked. Mahomes ended up, hitting Kelsey on an 11-yard touchdown, so it was 20-12 KC with 12 left in the fourth. And then I think, where the game really ended is Texans had the ball with like 10 minutes left in the fourth. Excuse me. Like 10 minutes left in the fourth. Texans ended up turning the ball over on fourth down. So I just, they went for it on fourth, didn't get it. And that's really where the game ended. I think Butker kicked another 32-yard field goal. So it was 23-12 KC with 4 minutes left in the fourth. And then within all under 4 minutes, CJ got sacked another 4 times. So at the whole beginning of the game, it was 4 sacks. And then the last 4 minutes in the fourth quarter, CJ got sacked another 4 times. Shout out to Karlaftis, had an all monster game. I think he had 2 or 3 sacks in the second half. Karlaftis is a beast at linebacker. So Chiefs are headed, thanks to the Texans, Chiefs are headed to their 7th straight AFC Championship game. Mahomes is now 7-0 in the divisional playoff round. What I find absolutely crazy is the Texans had 33 minutes of time of possession and Chiefs only had 16. I mean, that's fucking crazy. Texans 336 offensive yards, KC only 212. Final thoughts on this game. I thought the refs were fucking terrible. I think it's inexcusable how bad they are and how much they favor the Chiefs, but I don't want to complain too much. I know they're human beings. They're people who are just trying to do their job probably. It's just some of this stuff, it gets so bad you almost need a review, but I'm sure as technology advances and time goes on, we'll get that. But red zone offense goes to KC. They crushed it in the red zone. That's the only reason the Texans lost. They couldn't score touchdowns. They just couldn't score touchdowns. Right when they got close, it didn't matter. Texans defense, I think, ultimately got tired. Azeez Al-Shaair is the reason Kelsey had those 2 big plays. Azeez, in one of the replays, it's so obvious. Azeez ends up following the 2 corners out with the 2 receivers and doesn't stick with Kelsey. And Kelsey's supposed to be his job across the middle. Totally misses it. Kelsey's wide open, makes those big plays. So Azeez Al-Shaair had a long night for the Texans. I think the Chiefs just became too much for the Texans O-line eventually, and the O-line crumbled, as we all kind of knew that the Texans had a shitty O-line. So I think the Texans O-line eventually just crumbled under the pressure and just couldn't handle it. So, my original prediction for this game was Chiefs 26-17, and I was actually pretty close. So my prediction was 26-17. The actual score tonight was Chiefs 23-14. So I had 3 points off on each score. So I thought that was pretty good. But anyway, as much as I hate to say it, congratulations to the Chiefs. Congratulations to Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy. They'll be either playing the Ravens and the Bills in the AFC Championship game, which will probably be one of the most watched football games this year, and try to make a run to be the 10th team to three-peat. So congrats to them, and let's move on to the Commanders-Lions game. Wow, the football gods blessed us so much tonight with the Commanders-Lions game. I mean, me and my roommate had some people over. We were just watching, and every 5 minutes we were just on our feet cheering, or we were going, whoa, or what the fuck? That was so cool. So, just a classic duel, and it was so good until the very end. Commanders start strong, get a 3-and-out, and Washington ended up doing this fake turnover on 4th down sneak with Mariota. It was a fake QB sneak, and then it turned around and didn't end up working out. But Lions were able to run all over the Commanders' defense at the beginning of the game, and I was really worried. I was like, oh, this is not good. Gibbs ended up going down the third drive, scoring, so 7-0 Lions. Then the Commanders came back, kick a field goal, so 7-3. And then Daniel threw a really, really nice ball down the field to Diami Brown for a 42-yard pass. And then Zach Ertz had that, carrying that drive. Zach Ertz had a 4th and 3 conversion in the red zone. And then the Detroit ends up getting a pass interference in the end zone on the, so They ended up getting the ball on the 1 yard line. Robinson goes in, clears it up, 10-7 Washington. So it was actually, it was exciting to, at least at one point in the game, the Commanders had the lead, because a lot of us thought, when the Lions get up on you, they just go and go and go. So, it brought us a little hope, knowing, all right, well, at least the Lions know, hey, the Commanders are here to play football. They're not just going to roll over and not score. So, but following that, of course, Sam Laporta had a spectacular 2-yard catch, a 2-yard touchdown catch in the end zone, making it 10-14. I mean, one-handed the whole nine. It was beautiful. I mean, beautiful catch. Jalen, got the ball back, had a pretty awesome deep pass to Scary Terry for 59 yards. I mean, Scary Terry yards after catch tonight was absolutely amazing. I mean, he was moving, shifting, and Scary Terry deserves it. I mean, he's been so good on this team for so long. So 17-14 Washington. And then this is really where the dial starts to turn for the for the Lions. The dial really starts to turn, and they're fighting it, but they couldn't keep it. Quinn Martin, 40-yard pick six from Jared Goff, 24-14 Washington with 5 minutes left in the second. And that's when the switches started to turn, and you're like, uh-oh, all the alarm bells are going off, and you're like, uh-oh, this is not looking good for the Lions, right? We've seen this before. Daniels throws a deep pass to Joseph for 38 yards. Jaden ended up, having Zach Ertz open in the back of the end zone, just kind of standing there for a 5-yard touchdown, 31-21 Washington with 1:45 in the second. And then Lions storm down the field. Jared Goff throws a pick in the end zone to end the first half. So now Jared Goff, right before halftime's at 2 picks, and it's just spiral mode for the Lions. I wouldn't say it was spiral mode. The game was still within reach, but it felt like spiral mode because Jared Goff isn't like that. Multiple interception games statistically for quarterbacks usually are not a good sign. Usually they end up, being oafs of games for the quarterback. So, but I digress. Got the ball back. Gibbs ended up scoring an 8-yard touchdown, 31-28 Washington. So game's still within reach. The game's totally still within reach. But I'll be honest, it felt like the Commanders. It felt like the Commanders were in control. Oddly enough. It just felt like they had, kind of to what I touched on in a previous video. It felt like they had no pressure. It felt like they were like, fuck it. We're just here to play football. Whatever happens, happens. If we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. We're just going to play football. That's it. We're going to have fun with it. And I felt like the Lions had all the pressure, right? And I'm not going to throw too much shit at the Lions defense. I know they've just been struggling with injuries all year, but still, I feel like Washington had that confidence, that chip of like, we'll see, if it works, it works. Oh shit, that worked, It just made it just ultimately was so awesome to see. And anyway, Lions end up getting that stupid 12-man penalty and giving the Washington the first down in the red zone, which is so stupid. Robinson scores a 1-yard touchdown. And then this is where like all the switches are turned at this point. Lions run that terrible flea flicker. That's interception. That's the 4th turnover for the Lions at that point. On their side of the field, Commanders end up scoring. McNichols hits a 1-yard touchdown, 45-28. Excuse me. I don't know. And then Detroit ended up kicking a field goal with 5 minutes left, 45-31. And then the game just, that was kind of it. The Commanders wrote it out as we figured, and the Lions couldn't kind of do anything. But, I mean, wow. I mean, first divisional round win in 33 years for Washington. Congratulations. I want to say congratulations to Adam Peters, the new GM. Dan Quinn, who's been so deserving, who's been a monster, coach in this league for a long time that people still forget about. Like I said, Jane Daniels, Cliff Kingsbury, Austin Eckler, Brian Robinson, Scary Terry. I mean, so many deserving members of this football team who kind of deserving franchise, I think. I think Jared Goff with 3 interceptions today was just brutal. My final thoughts on the game. I think Jaden Daniels is amazing. I think he's one of those guys, watch out NFL, especially the NFC, with the Cowboys, Eagles, and I feel bad for the Cowboys, Eagles, and Giants. They're like, fuck. They're watching that game tonight going, man, we're going to have to deal with this Jaden kid for a long time. I think Adam Peters, the GM, they're probably already planning the next 6 years with this kid planning to be the guy. So super happy for Jaden, offensive rookie of the year on lock for sure. I just thought Washington had such a more creative, dynamic game plan tonight. I thought their offense was so much more creative. I thought Kingsbury looked good. Jaden is fantastic because you never know he's going to run or pass. So he leaves linebackers with lead feet all the time, and it's so awesome to see. It's incredible to watch him work. He's accurate throw of the football. And Jaden Daniels is going to be the next multi-year MVP for sure, and it's not even close. So I love tonight's game. I think, another final thought, Jared Goff's 3 interceptions. I just felt like he couldn't get comfortable today. Everything he was throwing didn't look right. He didn't settle in the pocket. I think when you have that many interceptions, like statistically speaking, you're just not going to have a good game. And I think he just had an off game, and it sucks for the Lions because I felt like the Lions are such a deserving franchise of a Super Bowl, and I think a lot of people in the NFL want to see the Lions win a Super Bowl, but it wasn't their year, and Jaden said, knock, knock, I'm the guy now, what's up? So super stoked for Washington. My original prediction for this game, I was actually wrong for this one. My prediction for this game was 33-19 Lions. I just thought the Lions were going to be able to overcome it. Actual was 45-32, so I was way off. Wasn't even close on my prediction. Oh gosh, what a great day of football, and I'm excited we got another great day of football tomorrow. Once again, everybody out there watching, get some good food, get a comfortable seat, get that nice butt mark on the couch. Let's watch some football, and tomorrow I'll be reacting to those games too. As always, let's talk some ball, and love you guys.